Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be about Jaws on 4K, predominantly this release. So I'll give you my thoughts on all four Jaws movies in 4K. But first I want to talk about why I actually got this release. Now my good friend Rock God, aka Nige, I'll leave a link down to his channel down below. I was talking to him about the fact that when Jaws 2, 3 and 4 came out in UK as standard versions, there was not even one chance to get a slipcover with it. As you know, I like my slipcovers. The special editions had been sold out basically before they even got on the shelves. They were just gone. And I thought, c'est la vie, how am I going to get round that? So my thoughts were to go on eBay. I didn't want to do it, but I had to because they were just not available. So mainly what I needed to do was I needed to get Jaws, the sequels, in some form of slipcover. Now, I was looking at the prices. I was looking at 2, 3 and 4 to buy in the special editions in 4K. And it was looking like when you got them, even the cheapest ones you could get, they were all getting scalped. You're talking, especially with part two, was just like stupid money. You were talking well over 100 quid. And I thought, as much as I love Jaws 2, and obviously the first one, which isn't included in this set, 3 and 4 are all right. They're not that great. Obviously, I've heard horrendous things about Jaws 3. More about that in a second. And so I thought, what can I do here? I don't want to spend that much money. And then I thought I can get 2, 3 and 4 when you buy two for £30, so maybe about £45 for them. Then also you've got to get custom slips made, maybe about up to a £10 each for that. So that adds up as well. So this one here, it has a digital code in as well, but the digital code's been used, so that's why I got a bit cheaper. This came in delivered at £64. Now to me, that's perfect. Now I've got it on the shelf. I've got it next to the other one, and that's me done with Jaws. But seeing as next year is the 50th anniversary of Jaws, I'm really hoping they're going to put something out. And what I would like to see is, as well as a special edition I've never seen before, that doesn't go out of print immediately. I would like to see them getting some new extra features on them because there's some brilliant bonuses for the Jaws movie, but they've all been done a million times before. We need to get some brand new stuff on it. So that's my thoughts on Jaws. One of the good things about this set is you do get the Blu-rays as well. Now, I was interested to see the Blu-rays, especially for 3, because I haven't got the Blu-ray of 3, although I have got the DVDs. So this is my son's edition of Jaws 2, 3 and 4. Not a bad cover, actually. And you get these various things from Jaws 2, 3 and 4. It's not a bad set at all. And I thought to myself, I bet they look great, the individual artwork on here. And I tell you what, they must have stayed up all night to think about this. The artwork in here is absolutely spectacular. So there's Jaws 2, there's Jaws 3, and you guessed it, there's Jaws 4. So the first thing I did when I got the 4K is I went and watched Jaws 3, because that's got all the controversy about it. Thoughts on that coming up. So I checked this one out on the DVD because my son's got the DVDs, and I thought, what does it look like on DVDs? Because when I got the Blu-ray, I checked the Blu-ray out in that box. That's the first time I've ever seen the Blu-ray. Now that would lead me onto the thoughts of what I think on the 4K. This is just my personal opinion, and it's just the way I've saw it, and that's my viewpoint. So Jaws 3 on here, actually, it doesn't look too bad. It's not brilliant. And I'll tell you what I've thought about these ones, especially the Jaws 2, 3, and 4, which I didn't think. I thought Jaws 2 was a bit like this. There's a lot of dirt on the prints, lots of white flecks and lots of black sort of dirt on it. And they haven't been cleaned up at all, which I was really surprised about. Now, I have got the Jaws 2 Blu-ray, and the Jaws 2 Blu-ray is just like that, if I can get it. Now, I'll talk about the 4Ks of Jaws 2 and Jaws 4 later on, but getting back to Jaws 3. So check this out on here, and it has got a lot of flecks on the prints, but the picture quality is pretty sharp. It's not bad. The colours are quite good in it. And the effects, well, the effects are absolutely atrocious because some of the underwater effects are like superimposed onto the film, a bit like an optical effect. They look absolutely horrendous, and the picture quality dips massively. And also, there's a million bits of dirt and debris on that particular bit of the film. So the Blu-ray for Jaws 3 on here, bear in mind it's the original Blu-ray, looks absolutely shocking. It's one of the worst Blu-rays I've ever seen in my life. The grain is insane on it. It's absolutely, it puts you right off the, when I put it on, I couldn't believe how bad it was. The optical effects in here look atrocious as well. I mean, they've never looked great, but they look 10 times worse on here. And the only thing I'll say for it is that you can tell it hasn't been DNR'd on this Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has got all of the grain in it. Now, that's the worst thing about it is because the grain is so noisy, it's atrocious, it's horrible. Actually, it's quite blurred as well. When I was watching the DVD, it looked a bit blurry, but this one on the Blu-ray of Jaws 3 looked really blurry in places. It's got its issues. It's never looked fantastic anyway. I couldn't believe how bad the Blu-ray was. Now that leads me on to when I watched the 4K. Now the 4K does have issues. I'm not saying it doesn't, but the 4K on here of the Jaws 3, which obviously has inherent problems with its print, looks sensational. Now, you may think, well, yeah, but it's got problems. It has got problems. It has been DNR'd. But I think if they were to put that on the way that this was bumped up in the quality for the Blu-ray, I think if they'd done exactly the same with that, and they would have raised up the grain structure even more, it would have looked basically unwatchable. It would have been 100%, you know, awful in my mind. So I think what they've done here, they've done the best of a bad job. They've DNR'd it, and you can tell in some parts that there's more DNR than others. I think at nighttime scenes, when you see them in the bar and stuff like that, you can see the faces. It shows on the faces before it shows on anything else. It's noticeable. It's not off-putting. It's not as off-putting as it would have been if the grain had been as heavy as it was on the Blu-ray, which was literally unwatchable. Also, as well, the sort of the quality of the Blu-ray's colors was a bit off as well. I just thought everything about it just didn't look right. And yeah, there's issues with the 4K being the fact that they say there's AI all over it. Now, when I put this on, in my opinion, I watched it, and after I watched it, I thought, oh, hang on, what about those AI bits? I'm not saying they're not there. I think if you look hard enough, but the thing that would have been on the screen for literally 1 or 2 seconds, he would have blinked and missed it. Well, I didn't even take any notice of it. I mean, if I'd stopped it and paused it and went right up to the TV and looked at it, I probably could have seen it. But who's going to do that? Not me. So my thoughts, I mean, the movie's not the best of the movie, if I'm honest, but it was much better than I thought it was going to be. It's pristine print. The colours are sensational. There's no dirt and debris on it at all. Yes, there's some DNR in it. The AI, I didn't notice at all. I thought this was a really enjoyable watch of Jaws. Now, if I've got Jaws 2, sometimes when you look at these movies and you can say, look, the 4K isn't that good, I can go back to the Blu-ray on it if I don't really like the 4K of it. For me, the 4K is the only way to watch Jaws 3 because all the other ones look absolutely abysmal. So for me, I think they've done a really good job on it. It's not perfect, but because of the way Jaws 3 was filmed in 3D, it's never going to look perfect. A bit like Friday the 13th Part 3. It never looks that great on Blu-ray. The Screen Factory one's the best it's ever looked, but still, it's just not the best out the whole lot, even though it's had all the remastering done to it. So that's my thoughts on Jaws 3. It's Did it need to be that? Probably. And the best thing about it is they haven't done it with any of the other ones. I mean, when you go back to Jaws, the original one, this is the benchmark when it comes to a restoration. I have never seen anything look like this. It's always looked good from the DVD when it had the Blu-ray update. That was like night and day. It was absolutely sensational. And from then on, it's just looked like unbelievable. So for me, the best looking of the whole lot is Jaws, the original one, and it can't be surpassed for me. Now, on the Blu-ray to Jaws 2, that is the same Blu-ray as I had, and there's dirt all over it. It hasn't been remastered in this set at all, so the only remastering you get is for the 4Ks. And when I put it on, it's a shame because Jaws 2 for me is a great sequel. It was a big hit as well. I think the other ones were hits in a fashion. But this one just didn't get remastered properly. But on the 4K, it's been totally remastered and it looks absolutely sensational. However, weirdly enough, Jaws the Revenge looks better. Now, the best thing about Jaws 2 and Jaws 4, you can tell, and I haven't watched them fully yet, but you can tell they haven't been, in the bits I've seen, it hasn't had any DNR done to it, as far as I can see. So the best thing about this set, if you want to get it, and it's only available in the US, I mean, I got it on eBay, there's plenty on there, but you might have to negotiate your price. And they're just not going cheap. There's not a cheap fix when you go and buy 2, 3, and 4. If you want to buy something with any form of case on it, you're going to have to pay a little bit of money. That's just the way it is. It's a shame that it's never had the chance to come out in the UK at this moment. But if it does come out in the future in the UK, this will be a bit of an idea of what you're going to get. I mean, I don't know if it will get embossed. This is all embossed around here. It's just they've done a great job, and I'm so happy to have it because I've been holding out for this for a while because I do really want to get and go and watch these ones. I will watch them all with Deborah once again. When I look through the DVDs of 2, 3, and 4, there's a lot of debris on all of the films. And obviously on the Blu-ray of 2 and 4, which I've had before, they've got some specs on there as well. It's really off-putting to see that when you think that all these things get remastered on Blu-ray at least, but they didn't. So really, if I'm honest, the 4K is the way to go if you want to see these in the most pristine fashion ever. Jaws 1 is just unbelievable. Jaws 2 is absolutely beautiful. Jaws 4 is stunning. It's nearly as good as Jaws 1, which I can't believe I'm saying. And Jaws 3 is by far the best it's ever looked, but it does have its issues. It's either that, you take it in that form, or you go back to the Blu-ray, which for me is one of the worst Blu-rays I have ever seen in my life. So that's my thoughts on this set. I do recommend it highly. If you want, this might be the cheapest way, and it's not going to be cheap. You're looking around about 55 to £60 in the cheapest end of it. Bearing in mind you do get them all on Blu-ray and you do get a digital code. This one hasn't got it, but I'm not into that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have it at all. So I can't wait to stick these on finally and sit through and watch all 4 films because they're one of my favorite franchise all the time. And a big thank you as well to Rockard 2004, Nige, link down below, for setting me up and making me look for this particular release because I would love to see this come out in the UK, but at this point I don't think it's gonna come here, sadly, which I think is a bit of a travesty, but there you go. So highly recommended. This is recommended as well. It has got its issues. I don't think it's got as many issues as been reported in my eyes. And if you want to see this in the best possible way, get it on this set or buy it individually on 4K. So, thanks for watching. You take care, especially you, Nige, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.